Okay, well, I have to say I'm just a little bit biased because I've grown up in rural areas most of my life. But I mean, have lived in cities before. But I have to say, for me, as far as the environment goes, it's the space. It's just having space to, go out of your house and just walk for a ways and just not be around pavement or skyscrapers, just but be around trees and see birds and see foxes, running across the path that you're on. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean, it's a different way to live. It's slower, but it's like each hour that you live holds a little bit more. I don't know. It's a it's kind of a funny way to think about it. But I guess as far as society goes, I really think that our Western American culture really suffers from its lack of connection with the natural world. And I think we can see that in children with, you know, the rise in ADHD and, I think a lot of violence too. People are constantly, I feel like they're constantly stressed and they're constantly being pulled in thousands of different directions at once. And I really feel like the human being is designed to function in nature. And so I feel like the closer we can get to that and the more of nature we can experience, kind of the healthier we'll be just all around us. It's good for your soul to be outside. That's what I feel like.
Okay. Are there any like um kind of going along with that? Is there anything you have really strong opinions about? Are there anything that you like any like hot button issues that you feel really strongly about?
I think everyone probably does. Are you looking for something specifically?
I'm just wondering kind of what just kind of get to know you a little bit better and what you're passionate about essentially. Kind of what you feel strongly about
Okay.
more than anything. Like I'm not trying. I mean, like I just want to get to understand you a little bit more.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. I'd say a couple things that kind of go along with living a more self-sufficient lifestyle are pharmaceutical companies. Surprise, surprise. I feel like people should be able to have the things that they need to heal themselves available either very inexpensively or free of charge. And so I feel like the pharmaceutical industry, has made a lot of money off of selling drugs that aren't necessarily good for people, that just mask the symptoms. And I feel like if more people could get more exercise, eat healthy food, spend more time in the sun, a lot of our chronic diseases would go away. And so part of this is kind of like modeling a lifestyle that is healthy and what we as humans were designed to live so that everything's functioning right and we don't have to get sick in the first place. I mean, I don't know, that's one thing that really bothers me is you know sick people who either don't have the knowledge or don't have the resources to get what they need to be healthy. And then also, you see in inner cities these things called food deserts where um, you know, there'll be miles of concrete, and on foot in these poorer neighborhoods, you're not able to make it to a supermarket where you can buy like cabbage. The only thing that's close by is like a convenience store, and you can get potato chips maybe, but you're gonna be malnourished because you don't have access to good food, and I don't think that's right. We should not we should not design our societies so that people should not have access to food. That's barbaric. All right, anything else?
No, no, it's perfect. That's great. Let's go. Let's move on to kind of your family. So I mean, I got to know your family really well the other day. I think they're amazing.
Oh, thank you. I like them too.
I kind of want your parents to be my parents. I'm not gonna lie. Or at least hang out with your brothers too. They seem like they're a blast.
They are. They really are.
What? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying thank you. They are. I like them too.
So what is your, let's say you're kind of your, like, how would you describe your family? You know, when you're explaining to people what your family is like, what do you say?
Okay. I would describe them as an unstoppable force. Really, because if we work together on things, especially now that we have a lot of older children, if we're working together, we can accomplish anything we put our minds to. And we like each other. I feel really lucky to have the people in my family that are there. I mean, even if I wasn't related to them, I would still like them. So, yeah, I really enjoy spending time with them because not just like, oh, they're my family, so I have to enjoy being with them, but they're fun people. So I feel really lucky in that regard.
Perfect. And what role, like, I know, like, every family, everyone kind of has a role, like, I'm the oldest in my family, and so I'm always kind of telling them what to do, and be the best positive around, and I'm always kind of taking my mom's side. Like, what is your role in your family? Like, where do you kind of fall?
Well, I would have to say it definitely changed after I came back from being gone. I feel like, more recently my role in my family is kind of like a partner with my parents. I mean, they're really good about treating me like an adult, and I really feel like I just have kind of a really good friendship with my parents. And yeah, if you ask my brothers and sisters if I'm bossy, they'll be like, oh yeah, Jazz is so bossy. And unfortunately, it's kind of true. I mean, I'm working on being bossy in a nice way. But anyway, that's definitely something I'm working on. But yeah, I mean it was different when the kids were younger, and I had to babysit them and be like, make sure you get your homework done, that type of thing. But they're all older now, and they can take care of themselves, so it's more like friends now, I would say.
Perfect. And then what about, what about your younger siblings? I know there's, feel like the brother, your brothers are all really kind of close in age. Like, right? It's like, remind me, it's like 15, 14, and 13, and then there's 11, 9, and 5-year-old. They're all kind of split up that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about your older brothers. Like, what are your thoughts on them? Like, what are they? How would you describe them?
Okay, well, John Caleb, he's the oldest one. He's probably like one of the most dependable, like nice people you'd ever meet. Like he just like cares about other people, and he's just easy to be around, really. And if you needed help, he'd totally help you with whatever, pretty much. He's a great guy. I always tell him, like, okay, John Caleb, you better marry a really nice girl. Luke, he's the next one. He is just pretty much hilarious. He's super sarcastic, and he just has this really dry sense of humor, kind of like my dad, but super smart guy, and he is the kind of kid who knows what he wants out of life, and he really believes that he has what it takes to accomplish his goals, and I really think he does. He's a deep thinker, even though he's sarcastic sometimes. I really like him. He's a cool guy. And then Timothy, he is the 13-year-old. If I described him, I'd probably say just happy-go-lucky. He's really he's just a really fun, goofy person, really. I mean, he doesn't really get bent out of shape about anything. He cracks jokes all the time. Yeah, that's just who he is. I mean, there's not like a mean bone in his body, I would say. He's just super hilarious most of the time.
Perfect. And then what about your? So who's? I mean, who's in charge in your family? Like, who's kind of the? Is there like a defined leader?
You know, it would depend on the issue. I would honestly have to say my mom and dad, like, it's pretty, I don't know, like sometimes like my mom will say, "Hey, we really have to do this." My dad will be like, "Yeah, okay." And then sometimes my dad will be like, "No, we this needs to happen this way." And my mom will be, fine. Even though they don't always agree on everything, they're pretty good at like talking to each other and trying to decide something that works for everybody.